previously on Obedience Podcast.
We needed to become whole in loving yourself and God. So we need to work on ourselves before committing to anyone.
That's true.
How do you guys think that people should spend their single season?
If you're not completely working on yourself, then you're bringing extra baggage in a relationship, and you don't know what kind of baggage they have.
It's this self-evaluation phase.
Okay.
You have to sit back, take yourself outside of your context, look at yourself objectively. Then you can attack the pattern.
Just learn how to enjoy your own company.
Yes. God is doing in this verse is letting you know that, look, I made you. I know your full name. I've called you.
I have a lot of deficiencies within myself, and I would look for that person to fill that deficiency for me.
It's such a negative connotation with being single. If you ain't ready for a relationship, you're just not.
That's true.
The wait is worth it, and it will be worth it.
Obedience, 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 obedience. Obedience is a cornerstone of our faith in God. Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Being obedient requires faith in God. Without faith, it is impossible to walk with God. I will. Obedience. Obey God.
Hey y'all, it's Ashley,
And Shantavia,
and this is Obedience Podcast. We'd like to welcome you guys to part 2 of Booed Up.
How do y'all feel about like this hype around what did Sierra pray for to get Russell Wilson? Like, how do you feel about that hype?
I feel it's overhyped.
Yes.
That's just my personal opinion. I think that we sometimes, as the people who looking at social media, that we're tossed so much to and fro on other people's success. And Sierra is in a whole nother, and I'm not just talking about financially, but as far as what she's exposed to, she's on a whole nother different area and environment than we are in right now. We may be famous or in the media one day, but as of right now, she has access to a whole bunch of different people. Like Sierra Pratt wasn't never going to be, you know what I'm saying, to marry the guy who's the manager at Walmart. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I think, and it's what we was talking about earlier, you have to do what's comfortable for you and what's in your zone. You know, you really can't take off what nobody else prayed for and hope that be your prayer, because now you're trying to, in a sense, it may not be intentional, but intentionally you're trying to pray for something that they prayed for. You know what I'm saying? You might not, like everybody keeps saying, oh, I'm waiting on my Boaz. But some women don't need a Boaz. They may need a Peter. You know what I'm saying? They may need, you know what I'm saying, a John. They may need a King Solomon or somebody like that. So, you know, I just think that you need to pray for what you desire, not what for somebody else praying about.
That's so true.
Because we jump to and fro. Like at first it was, I want a Barack Obama. Then it went from that to, I want a Prince Harry. Then it went from that to, I want a Russell Wilson. So like who do you vote?
What do you want?
What do you want?
Y'all confused. You want so much.
Do you know what you want?
So I would say just, it was too much for me. I feel like people were so focused on the actual prayer that she prayed. Like you said, Sierra is on a whole different ball game than I am right now. So I can't pray for something that she prayed for, and you know, still get the same thing that she got. So I have a different relationship with God than Sierra. I have different wants than Sierra. I have different desires than Sierra. So why focus on a specific prayer? And you know, and I want something different. Y'all get what I'm trying to do?
I get what you're saying.
It's making sense.
I get what
There's
you're
no
saying.
cookie cutter man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is none. There's no ideal man that fits for everybody. And that's what people are taking to this prayer. Can I be honest?
Please.
We're romanticizing this prayer. That's
Yes.
what it is. We're
Yes.
making it a fairy tale. We're making it Cinderella when we don't know what happened behind the scenes with her. We don't know what happened behind the scenes with him. We always envy somebody else's end result. And we don't look at what it took for them to get there. Sierra dealt with, no disrespect to Future, but she went through something with him and had to bounce back from it. And then she found somebody that worked for her. And I'm all for it. I'm not saying you got to struggle to find your peace, but I'm just saying we just know the title of the story. We don't know the chapters, the details, the sentences. We don't know any of that. So before you envying her prayer, go back and look at what all she did holistically. You know, like look at the full situation, because it just don't work like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even with Russ, he was married.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He
The rumor was,
I didn't
one
know
of his
that.
teammates was having an affair with his wife. So he even went through, you know what I'm saying, something, you know what I'm saying? So just be
either.
careful what you ask for.
Right, right. 'Cause I ain't trying to go through what Sierra went through to get a Russell Wilson.
Right.
You want the outcome, but don't know the struggle.
Man.
I've always wondered why people are so caught up on her prayer. Like, I know what's best for me, so why do I need to get your prayer outline? Like, it's no template to prayer. So why do I need your template? And also I wanted to point out, like, when Sierra made that prayer, she also made a lifestyle change. So are you willing to make that lifestyle change to get Sierra's prayer?
Are you?
Probably not.
Exactly. So you can pray it, but it's not going to happen because you don't have that lifestyle change that she took. Like, she probably said her prayer and she had a lot of faith behind it. And she also did her works, you know, to get that.
There you
And
go. Keyword.
are you going to do it?
The work.
Keyword right
So-
there. Because faith without what?
Works.
Works.
It's dead, deceased,
Come on, preacher.
killed.
Right? So, yeah, man. Like, you got to put in the work, bro. You got to cry some nights. You got to be sick some nights. You're going to be depressed. You're going to be down. You're going to call somebody to talk to, and sometimes they might not answer. So you're going to have to get on your knees and ugly cry. I'm talking about the kind with the snot. Like that one. So we don't know. I'm saying, like, I feel like it's the it thing right now, the Sierra prayer. So,
Yeah. And,
yeah, man.
and the thing about that is, it's like we've been talking about, the center of this is still about God and His will for you and doing things for His purpose, not leaning on His understanding.
Yeah.
It's like they leaning more to Sierra's prayer when they need to be leaning on God. Be like, all right, God,
Yep.
evidently I've been messing up, so I need you to put the prayer in my mouth, in my belly, that I need to pray to get
Right.
this man or to get this lady, because I've been striking out lately, you know. But I mean, you can't rely on what somebody else pray for, because you know it's only one Russell Wilson. You know what I'm saying? Even if you got somebody with his attributes, he's not going to be the starting quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks.
No.
He may not have $100 million contract. So even if you pray for that kind of person, you're still not going to get that. You know.
Yeah.
You can't pray somebody else's will. The will for their life. You can't pray
Exactly.
for your own life.
I don't have a long prayer about what my future husband will be. Because you change a lot, you grow. But the main thing I pray for, just let him be a man of God, first and foremost. And then secondly, send me somebody that is perfect for me, because you know me better than
There
I
you
know
go.
myself. So I'm just going to put it in your hands. Send me what you want for me.
There you go.
That's all
it.
you really need.
Be prepared for that.
I know.
Exactly.
I'm be real. That junk is easier said than done.
Exactly.
Because you're gonna have that person that's gonna be able to call you out when you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. But you gotta be prepared for that. If you're gonna have somebody that's gonna check you spiritually, you gotta be open to it.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to be able to get out your feelings and be like, you know what, you right.
You right. I mean, but that's what a relationship is. Like, you should be with somebody that can help you grow
Yeah.
and move to that next level of life.
Yeah, because you're not gonna agree all the time. And you know what? That's where the communication comes in. You gotta understand that, hey, we might not agree on this topic, but we'll work past it. Because this is what I pray for with a marriage. I think we think about that we're growing now, right? What about when you're married and you're still growing? Y'all as a 30-year-old couple ain't gonna be the same y'all as a 40-year-old couple and a 50-year-old couple. And I say this and I talk about this a lot. Every marriage I've known growing up in my family ended in divorce. Every single one. And I sat back and I've talked to each one of the husbands independently, my uncles, and I asked them why. And it was like, things change, I'll be honest, I wasn't the same person that I was back then. She fell in love with that me, and I'm this me. Sometimes I should argue my point, and I just was shut down. It's just my fear. And I mean this in the sense of, when I say fear, I don't mean in terms of being afraid. I mean it in the sense of being aware. Like they tell you to fear God. I don't mean, oh God, I'm afraid of him. No, like I respect it enough in what it means to understand that it's a continuous shift and you can grow together or you can deviate and grow apart. So you just don't remain those people from that day that you kiss and say I do.
Yeah.
You guys keep going. So
Yeah.
that's my focus. It's good that we make our lists, of what we want, waver on what we won't deal with and what we are looking for. But also on the flip side of that, I feel like we have to realize that that's our list and God's list. This is the person who called us by our first, middle, and last name, who formed us. His list might be different than what we have in mind, so we have to be open to that interpretation. So
Yeah.
you got to be careful what you pray for, is what I'm saying.
That's true.
If you're asking for him to give you what you want, what you need, you got to understand sometimes you are making a list of what you want. So that's
it.
I'm hush.
Yeah. Because even like when I made my list, I didn't want to make it at first because I felt as though I wasn't ready.
That's tough.
It is because, like, I'll tell y'all. Because, like, I remember vividly, I was on my knees praying, getting ready for bed and stuff. And I heard, like, kind of like to pray for a husband. I was just like, okay. I got three other sisters. I was just like, okay, let me pray for their husband.
I got
Because
this.
I ain't ready. Lord, I ain't ready. Because I wasn't actively looking. I was content in my singleness. And then, like, some months later, it just stuck with me. I woke up one morning and I went to my notebook and I just started writing out stuff that I wanted. Yeah, and now I was just like, okay, God, this is what I want. This is my expectation of like what I want. But if any of these things are not like you, just so be it. I just invite you into my list of like what you got for me, because like you said, I am his and he made me, so he knows exactly what I need. So yeah, I would say that. Invite God into your list.
Be ready to do that, because what you receive, you might not be ready to hear, because that's important to that self-evaluation piece we were talking about. I talk frequently about it's better for you to discover something and close a chapter in your life than rather have God slam that door for you, because if he do it, it's going to hurt.
Oof.
And he'll do it in front of whoever.
Woo.
So, yeah. Work on you.
Boo boo.
Can I ask you guys a question then?
Yes.
Okay.
Just on the transparent front, because like I said, our podcast, that's what we do. As far as expectations go, I understand that sometimes you guys make your list, and guys do too, to a certain degree. When you guys make that list, how soon before you communicate what you expect, truthfully? And like how much are you guys finding yourselves compromising with that list when you meet someone?
Go first, Ashley.
Yeah.
My
How
bad.
did I know? So how soon do we make our expectations known?
Yeah, like you have that dialogue.
I don't like to waste time. So, and I pray for discernment, cause I be like, I think cause I was single for so long. Like I know from my first conversation, it's just like, okay, nice meeting you. You can follow me on social media, but this ain't gonna work out.
And I love cheese in my grits.
Yeah. I kind of know like if it's not gonna work out initially. So like I'll say like for my first few conversations, like I'll make my expectations known.
Okay.
And you said how the
Like,
compromise?
yes, like how do you discern what you would compromise versus what you want? Like how do you make that decision? Like I said, every woman has that list. No offense, not men do too, but like you gotta be a certain height, certain weight, certain
like
complexion,
Physical, the physical things.
spiritual too, because
That's kind of compromising.
I say that because there's certain things that when you're dating, you're still growing in a sense.
Yeah.
So how do you discern? Okay, he's lacking a little bit here, but he's working on it. So I'll work with that. You see what I'm saying? So how
I
do you
guess I
discern
don't look
what?
for like perfection.
Okay.
Like I'm not perfect in all of my ways, I still need room for improvement. So I feel like it's like as though we need to meet. I don't know, like meet them where they are.
Okay.
Like I know that
Okay.
you may not have all the money in the bank, but I know that you're working towards that. Or I know that you aren't where you want to be at a specific area in your life, but okay, I can see the potential of like you making moves to get there. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay.
So
You're on your journey.
you're on
towards
your
that.
journey
Okay.
towards it.
Okay. I did that.
Well, with me, I don't know if I like present my list as soon as you present it. I'll definitely present it before like a relationship happens.
Yeah.
Because I'm the type of person like I talk to somebody for a long time, which I probably shouldn't do. But before we make that jump into like an actual relationship, I'll make my list known,
Okay.
and my expectations known at that point. But as far as deal breakers, it depends on the situation, honestly. Like Ashley was saying, like if I know that you're not where you need to be at, like where I want you at here, I look at what you're doing in the now to make the future better.
Gotcha.
You know, and if it's not going to go anywhere, like if I can tell that you're not doing anything, then that's a deal breaker to me. But I don't know. I'm trying to think of another instance with that. You said not physical, right?
I mean, that's.
Because I don't.
I feel like we can work
I've been
on that.
my list a lot with physical.
Really?
Because I'm not a physical person. I'm like a.
I mean, he got to be lookable. Look atable.
Oh goodness.
So like for instance,
funny.
like
That was funny.
say I want somebody 6 feet. If somebody walk up to me who's 5'7", I'm not gonna be like, well, I can't talk to you, you know.
Okay.
So like stuff like that, like I will bend my rules on that because personality is more important to me. Like what we talk about is more important than how our conversation flows. That's more
Yeah.
important to me than all of that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it is.
What about you?
I know my mindset changed because at first my list, like Jeremy said, my list was as long as you know how to have fun, got a sense of humor, like to travel, like to go out to eat or whatever like that. But that won't sustain you. So then my list changed to she knows how to pray for me and with me. Because I mean, you can go to travel and go out to eat and have fun, have sense of humor and all that, but when the rubber meets the road, you need somebody who is spiritually stable to know how to handle it. Because you can't handle, you know what I'm saying, you get in a disagreement, you just can't say, well, let's go to Miami. That's not gonna solve nothing. You know, y'all not seeing eye to eye on stuff. Well, let's go out to this nice restaurant. Yeah, you're doing that stuff, but that's not solving the issue. And then after a while, it snowballs and snowballs. You be like, you know what? We really don't have nothing in common outside of just doing activities. We have nothing. We have everything external, but nothing internal.
That's good.
So I definitely had to change my mindset as far as what my list was. So that is number one: praying for me and praying with me. That's my
Put
number one.
I
You
like
brought up a
that.
good point.
External.
Because, like you said, your list changed. Because my list at 18 is going to be the same thing at 29. Like, it's going to change. Because I can remember, like, just thinking, I didn't make a physical list at 18, but I was just like, oh, he got to be taller than me. He got to be this. Oh, he can know God, too. Because that's where I was in my life. And it wasn't as important as it is to me now.
Priority.
Yes, more of a priority now.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
I
good.
be having questions.
You
But
welcome
I feel
to.
like I'll forget.
That was a good question though. Cause some people they do not want to bend that list.
Man, that's
Nah, not at
the reason
all.
I brought it up.
Yes.
Because I've seen where this is just dating, in my dating phase. Oh, you cool, but you too short. Or you cool, but you're not making X. And I'm like, that made me, and I'm being transparent here, it made me resent dating, period. Because it's like, with me being raised the way I am, as like being a gentleman, I pride myself on being kind and being a gentleman as best I can. I'm not 100%, but I'm a good 85.
Yeah, you are.
Thank you. But it makes me feel like there's no place for me. When you make me feel like doing what I'm supposed to do is out of the norm, and you make me feel like an outcast because of it, I have resentment for you. And that is something I had to break. And so when I would present my list, I guess it was just the environment I was in, the type of people I was encountering, that made me realize that it's okay to be, still in your list, but understand where you are and where you are digging for a mate and stuff. So it taught me a lot about myself, my own patience, my ability to communicate where I'm coming from, and the courage therein. Because I talk about this all the time. I'm terrible at speaking my emotions.
As most men
I'm
are.
trash at it. But if you give me a minute and let me write it down and come back to you, I can make it make sense to you. So, yeah, that's one of the things I wrote down on my list, that communication is best, because
Yeah.
I'm just tapping into that for myself, as far as, because I used to be like, oh, you doing something I don't like? All right,
Never explain.
no explanation. Like, I would ghost, and I'm learning that,
Ooh.
yeah. And I think, I'm going to be real, I was ghosting because I was a coward.
Ooh.
Because when you're presenting something because you care for a person, you're again being vulnerable. Because now they're either going to dismiss what you're saying and make you feel inadequate, or they're going to approach you with, okay, I thank you for telling me this. I'm going to reciprocate it. So because I had gotten, such negative feedback, I was like, you know what, I'm just not going to deal with it at all. Forget women, y'all on some other stuff. I was on my better man stuff. But I'm a better man. Nah.
Ooh, come on, better.
Man, get me a t-shirt, man.
Better man.
Hey,
Gotta copyright that.
man, quick.
I'm the complete opposite though. Like, I don't have no problem speaking my emotions. Like, I speak them quick. You know what I'm saying? So it's either take it or leave it. If you ask me to be honest with you, then I'm gonna be honest. Well, how do you feel about this relationship? Well, I feel like this is going on. I feel like that is going on. I feel like you don't pay attention to this or this or something like that. But even I'm honest with myself, because I know there will be times where if I see something is not going on, or if you're not listening, then I'll shut down.
Bro,
I'll be like, okay, you got it. Put on my headphones, bro, and be about my business, But I had to learn that all the times that it's not always good to shut down. But if I see something escalating to where you're not hearing me, you're what they say, you're listening to respond and not to understand.
Oh, yes.
Then I'll be like, okay, you got it, and put on my headphones and be on about my business. But I had to learn to where sometimes you have to kind of see how people communicate, because everybody doesn't communicate like you do. They may have a difficulty explaining some things, so you gotta ask like, hey, find out how they communicate. Be like, hey, if you communicate like this, let me know. Just don't let me think that you just being rude, or just don't. If that's how you communicate, let me know so I can know how to respond to it instead of me just shutting down on you.
That's good.
yeah, that goes back to identifying yourself and having the courage to do it. So kudos to you, man, because that's something I'm not going to divulge my age, but to be the age I am, that's something I'm not going to say struggling with, but something I'm still striving towards. Because,
I need you to teach a seminar and show men this is how you display emotions.
man,
But the thing is, because I'm a passionate person. Like, anything that I love, that I like, I'm passionate about it. Whether it's bands, sports, relationship, whatever, I'm passionate. So it's easy for me, you know what I'm saying, to explain. And I'm not saying that y'all not passionate who can't explain it, but that's just how my passion shows. Like, I'm going to leave it all out there.
Yeah.
For the person or whoever it is. So that's why it's like easy for me, because I don't want you to say, well, why didn't you tell me this when we was together? Or why you ain't say this? I could handle it this way. No, you gonna know. So you ain't got no excuses to say that I ain't tell you nothing.
I know one thing I will say, though. So we were talking about lists and stuff like that. If you make a list, try to make sure you can do those things on that list.
Oh yeah.
This is the end of.
drop the mic now.
Right? If you want somebody who is making six figures, then you need to be making six figures too. You can't put these expectations on that person and
Too much pressure.
not be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I agree. 'Cause
I agree.
just as you're looking into them, they're looking into you and seeing what they can
Yeah,
benefit
they
from.
have a list too.
Yeah.
I know when I realized, I was like, what? I was like, okay, well, let me mark through this because I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this either.
Right.
Pending. Still in progress. So this ends the part 2 of Booed Up. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We hope you guys got something from it. So stay tuned to our part 3 of Boot Up.
And as always,
Be obedient.